Hello friends, it is time to start with the apportionment of ITC that is given in section 17 and the according rules 42 and 43. First of all, you understand that there is a golden rule where input tax credit is available for all taxable supplies used for business purpose. It means if you are making all taxable supplies and eligible, you should be eligible. For you, input tax credit is available. If you are not making taxable supplies, input tax credit is not available. It is that simple. What if you make both supplies or mixed supplies, taxable and non-taxable? In such cases, ITC is available for taxable supplies. All such supplies or part of supplies which are not taxable or not used for business purpose are not eligible for ITC. Thus, the portion of ITC is deducted. That portion which is not eligible for ITC, that portion will be deducted, right? So, where the goods or services or both are used by registered person, partly for effecting taxable supplies, including zero rated supplies under this act or under the IGST Act is eligible. Partly for effecting exempt supplies under the said acts. Said acts means CGST and IGST both, including SGST and UTGST, right? The amount of credit shall be restricted to so much of input tax as is attributable to the said taxable supplies, including zero rated supplies. What do you mean by this? If you are making taxable and non-taxable both supplies or exempt supplies, let us suppose taxable and exempt supplies you are making both. So that part which is eligible taxable supply, for that ITC is available, and that part which you are making exempt supplies, ITC is not available. That is what these points say. Okay, be that goods or services, both. Attributable to ITC is defined under this act, this section and relevant rules. Attributable to ITC means, here we have used the word called attributable, means that portion, that part, right? So understand determination of ITC as per these sections. Section 17 of 1 says supplies used for business purpose, ITC is available. Supplies used for non-business purpose or personal purpose, ITC is not available. It is as simple as that. And the next subsection says supplies used for taxable purpose. Yes, you have ITC. For zero rated supplies, ITC is available. Used for non-taxable supplies like liquor or petroleum, non-taxable, see, these two are non-GST items, therefore ITC is not available. Used for exempt supplies, note below, means in the next slide I have given, no, ITC is not available. Used for RCM purposes, that is reverse charge mechanism supplies, no. Supplies other than goods or services like securities and land and building, no. Hope you have understood this point, this table, right? Wherever the ITC is available, it is given. Exactly this is what we are going to learn in this section, apportionment of credit. We are going to learn this in detail, right? So as mentioned earlier, proportionate credit on exempt supplies shall be ineligible for ITC. On exempt supplies, proportionate credit is ineligible. It means you are not going to get ITC. All such ITC availed and utilized shall be reversed. Reversed means you are giving it back to the government, which were used for making exempt or non-GST supplies made for other than business supplies. Other than business means not in the course of furtherance of business. Any ITC used for both purposes, where you are using for making supplies which are business or non-business purposes, shall be apportioned as given below. right? ITC on exempt supply will be calculated with this formula. Common credit we are going to take. What is this common credit? We will see this in the next slide. Common credit into exempt turnover divided by total turnover, right? Where will you get this common credit and these things we will see it later. First you understand this exempt turnover means that portion of turnover which is exempt, right? And taxable turnover, that is different. Total turnover includes exempt and taxable turnover. Turnover means turnover in that state in that year. That is what we are going to take, right? ITC attributable for non-business purpose shall be 5% of common credit. For non-business purposes shall be 5% of common credit. When we will start learning about rule 42, we will learn this in more detail. 5% of common credit, where will we get it, right? So turnover does not include any other taxes like excise, VAT, sales tax. Excluding this, we are going to take the turnover, right? So this is clear. Now this is where your common credit is, and this is also your common credit. This we call it as common credit 2 or C2. Let us first start with common ITC. Common ITC is different than common credit. This is different, okay? Common ITC, or we call it as normal ITC. Understand this chart. We have business and non-business credits. If you consider the total turnover or the total ITC, in that ITC we have business supplies and non-business supplies. We have exempt supplies and non-exempt supplies, right? And we have credits which are blocked and unblocked credits. Also we have taxable and zero rated supplies. Consider all these supplies and you will get the credits of it, right? So credits of all these supplies will be called as total credit. We call this total credit as T, and from this T we are deducting these three things. Non-business credits we are deducting and we are calling it as T1. Exempt supplies credits T2. Blocked credits T3. Taxable or zero rate supplies, the credit which you get, we call it as T4, and this is not blocked. We are allowing this to flow through this channel to call it as C1, common credit, right? Sir, you may ask me, what is this common credit and what it includes? Common credit includes business credits or supplies made for business purposes. It includes supplies made for non-exempt supplies, credits used for making non-exempt supplies. It also includes credits which are not blocked, and it also has this taxable and zero rate supplies credits. Common credit has these many things because we are only blocking non-business. We are only blocking this. We are only blocking exempt supplies. We are only blocking the blocked. Now, what is this blocked credit? It is given in section 17.5. We will see it later in some other video, right? So common credit C1 is this, and this credit will be shown in your electronic credit ledger. As I have told you, there are three ledgers: electronic credit ledger, cash ledger and liability ledger. We will learn more about that in the next chapter. So this is C1. What do you do with this C1? C1 should be treated like this. Other credits including business credits we are going to take, plus taxable or zero rated credits, that is T4. We are blocking T4 now. Understanding? Here we did not block T4. That is C1. Sir, why did you not block it here only? It is given in the act that C1 we have to calculate including this, so that it can be shown in the electronic credit ledger. If you block here only, electronic credit ledger will not be having taxable or zero rated credits. Hope you understand this point. Now C1 we are considering other credits including business credits are there, and now this is blocked. This is common ITC 2 or common credit to C2. Right, this is how we calculate C2. What this includes? It only includes other credits including business credits. Other credit means business credits, non-exempt credits and unblocked credits. These many credits are there in the in this C2. Right, with this C2 we are calculating these many things. Right, let us understand this chart with the mathematical example. This table will help you understand it all very clearly. We are considering total input tax credit, that is T, total, and we are deducting these three. We are blocking these three, right? T1, T2, T3. All these amount will be deducted from total amount. We are getting this C1, right? After this C1 we are also blocking this T4, and this is common credit 2, right? Check the previous slide. C2 does not include this taxable or zero rated. This is blocked. Cross means do not consider it as multiplied. This is crossed. Okay. Now common credit so calculated is used for both purposes, eligible and ineligible ITC. Now what to do with this C2? This C2 includes for both ITC, eligible and ineligible. Right? It means C2 is bifurcated between these two. To make C2 available for utilization, proper utilization, these two are deducted from the following procedure. Which two are deducted? These two, D1 and D2. What is that D1, D2? Credits used for exempt purpose. Turnover basis we are calculating, which I had shown you in the previous slide. Credits used for non-business purpose, 5% of C2. This 5%, how did we get? It is given in the act. It is just given as a whole. 5%, assume that 5% is used for personal purpose. All other 95% of whatever is remaining in the C2 will be used for, will be considered for common credit 2. Right? So this is what we are deducting. Common credit C2 after the D1 and D2, these two, after this D1 and D2 we are getting this common credit 2. We are adding inputs exclusively used for taxable purpose or zero rated supplies, that is T4. We are again adding it back. Sir, you had deducted T4 here from C1 and you have calculated C2, and now you are adding it back. Why? It is because it is taxable supply, it is zero rated supply. You should get the credit. You should get the credit on zero rated supplies. It is your right. So then why did you deduct it here? It is to calculate this D1 and D2, because D1 is calculated on turnover basis, which is the multiplication of the C2, right? Let me show you the formula, which is the multiplication of C2 common credit. We are calculating turnover, right? 5% of common credit, this is also a percentage, and because we are calculating this ITC attributable for non-business purpose on percentage basis, we are deducting this T4 here this way, because this value will be less, and on this less value you are going to get the turnover basis D1 and D2, right? We are adding it back, and therefore ITC fully available for utilization, this is what you will get. Fully available for utilization, I repeat, fully available for utilization means you are using 100% of this ITC for paying next taxes. It means if you get this value as a credit from the government in the month of May, for the month of June, while you are paying taxes again, then you can use this credit, and no questions will be asked to you, because you have followed this all method to arrive at this point, right? Now a common question which students ask is, sir, how can we bifurcate between business and non-business, exempt and non-exempt, blocked and unblocked? How can we do that? How can you assume that? The answer is, friends, it is purely given in the question. It is given in the question. For examination purpose, you can directly solve it. In case where you are using this formula in the real life, the person who is filing this return, it means the person who is registered person, who has the business, who is supplier, who wants to get the credit, he knows how much of this is business and non-business. He actually knows it. He has to declare it, right? It is his responsibility to declare it and stay as clear as possible, right? Because if GST officer feels like if this person is lying, then he may issue a notice under section 74, malefied, right? So let us go for the next slide. This is the last slide for today. Important notes which I had given you this in the previous slide. ITC on exempt supply. How will you calculate ITC on exempt supply? This turnover basis, it is exempt turnover divided by total turnover. Total means exempt plus non-exempt. Total turnover in that state, right? And 5% of common credit we are calculating. 5% of which value? 5% of this value, right? And then turnover does not include these many taxes. These 3 points I have already told you. It is just repeated here. D1 and D2 both are ineligible credits. They have to be reversed by registered person through GSTR 3B in the prescribed form. D1 and D2 will be computed for the whole financial year by taking exempted turnover and aggregate turnover for the whole financial year. See, this turnover in that state, which this turnover will be attributable for the whole year, not only for that month. Okay. If this amount is more than the amount already added in the output tax liability every month, the differential amount will be reversed by the registered person in GSTR 3B in any of the month till September of succeeding year, along with interest at 18% from the 1st of April of succeeding year till the date of payment. Sir, not understood. See, this common credit which we are calculating, that will be for exempt supplies which we are speaking about, that will be for the whole financial year, right? If this amount is more than the amount already added to output tax liability, it means you are paying taxes on the output liability every month. If that output liability is less than this total turnover, total credit, then that differential amount will be reversed by the registered person, because it means that you are making exempt turnover more. You are making exempted turnover and you have availed ITC, and therefore you have to reverse it back. Therefore you have to give it back to the government, and that too at 18% interest. And when will you give it back? You have to give it back till September of next year along with the interest, right? You have to show it that in the GSTR 3B. Otherwise government can give you the penalty. The higher penalty is 1 lakh rupee per day. Higher, that is the last that is the maximum penalty. If this amount is less than the amount added in the output tax liability every month, the additional amount paid has to be claimed back as credit in GSTR 3 of any month till September of that succeeding year. It means output tax liability which you are calculating. If output tax liability is more than the previous amount, that is credit. Hope you have understanding. Or this sentence is really in easy sense. See, if this amount means which we are calculating ITC amount on exempt supplies is less than the output tax liability, it means you are paying more here but you have availed less, right? In such cases, additional amount has to be claimed back as credit. You can claim it as credit in GSTR3 of any month till September, and for this purpose government will not give you 18% interest, right? So that is all about the apportionment of credit. There are still some important things of rule 42 and 43. We'll see all that in the next slide. See you in next video. Thank you. Hope you have understood. We have only seen it in the theory form. Numerical problem on this will be taken once we complete this chapter, because everything is interrelated, right? So see you next video. Thank you.